The man who coordinated Lewis and Clark was a documented Spanish spy. His code name was Agent 13. He was on the Spanish payroll while commanding the United States Army. He was court-martialed twice, acquitted both times, and 3 simultaneous expeditions worth of Continental intelligence managed through his hands. In the spring of 1804, less than a year after buying the Louisiana territory from France, the United States sent 3 separate expeditions to the continental interior simultaneously. Lewis and Clark went northwest up the Missouri River. Zebulon Pike was assigned the upper Mississippi and southwest toward the Rio Grande. Freeman and Custis were to the south down the Red River. 3 different routes, 3 different river systems, complete geographic coverage of every major hydraulic network in the territory, all in one operational window. The official story calls this exploration. There was nothing to explore. The French had been living in and mapping this territory for over 100 years. They had trading posts, military forts, and settlements throughout. The land Jefferson just bought for $15 million was not unmapped wilderness. It was occupied, documented, and understood. There was nothing for Lewis and Clark to discover that the French hadn't already mapped. All 3 expeditions were coordinated by one man, General James Wilkinson, commander of the United States Army, based in St. Louis, and simultaneously a documented Spanish spy, codename Agent 13, on the Spanish payroll since the 1780s while serving as an American general. This is not an alternative history. This is verified historical record. He was court-martialed twice for it and acquitted both times because the people who could convict him needed him to stay quiet about what he knew. His own son, Lieutenant James Wilkinson Jr., was embedded with the Zebulon Pike detachment on the southwestern expedition, and when the Freeman and Custis team moved too far south toward Spanish territory, General Wilkinson warned the Spanish to stop them. A United States Army general warning a foreign power to intercept an American government expedition that he was coordinating. And the gifts? The Jefferson peace medals, the trade goods, the diplomatic gestures at every indigenous settlement along the route, those weren't goodwill. A Jefferson peace medal communicated one thing to the leaders who received it. New management has arrived. We know you're here. We're telling you that we know, and we're being polite about it. This time. Lewis and Clark returned to St. Louis in September 1806 with comprehensive documentation of every hydraulic feature on the Missouri River corridor and major subsequent tributaries, every soil composition. Jefferson's documented instructions asked for soil composition, mineral deposits, volcanic appearances, and underground water systems along the route, not standard exploration categories. The categories of someone who needed to know exactly what the land was made of and how water moved through it. Every indigenous settlement, every place where the river system was most vulnerable to pressure. 5 years later, December 16, 1811, and again 4 months later in April 1812, the 2 New Madrid events. The ground rolls in waves across the continental interior. The Mississippi runs backward. The earth liquefies across hundreds of miles of river valley. The interior of the continent drowns in mud. The official story calls it the most powerful earthquake sequence in North American history. A random geological event. Nothing to do with 3 government expeditions that spent 2 years mapping the exact river system that just failed. 5 years from the expeditions returning with their hydraulic documentation to the continental interior collapsing into mud. A real mud flood. That's not proof, that's timing. And the timing is what episode 4 is about. The mechanics of what happens when you back up a river system the size of the Missouri, and what the ground looks like when it's so saturated it literally becomes water. Full episode 3, the Wilkinson documentation, the expedition records, Jefferson's specific instructions, the complete timeline is in my Substack library. I'm Ryan. This is First Light Archive, the hidden timeline, the buried continent. Episode 4 is next. I'll see you there.